At this point, our speeches are coming up quickly. We've selected a topic, we've looked at our audience, and now it's time for us to begin researching our speech. Now, some of you might be thinking that research is going to be fairly easy. All I have to do is go to Google and type my topic into the search bar, right? However, we will come to find today that researching is a lot more involved than that. Not only does it involve using sources other than Google, but it also involves determining whether or not you can and should use specific sources in your speech. Let's start by defining research. Research is the scholarly investigation into a topic in order to discover, revise, or report facts, theories, and applications. Now, there's a lot in this definition. If we're discovering things, we're conducting some kind of new study and discovering something completely new. If we are revising something, then we are trying to improve older discoveries. And if we're reporting something, we're simply letting others know about it. If we're talking about facts, we're looking at a truth that's arrived at through scientific process. If we're talking about theories, we're looking at proposed explanations for a phenomenon, but things that haven't necessarily been proven. And if we're looking at applications, we're looking for new ways to use stuff that we already know about. Now, there's two different types of research that we can conduct as researchers. We can do primary research, which is research that's reported by the person who's conducting it, or we can conduct secondary research, which is reported by someone who was not involved in conducting the research. So most of what you will be doing is secondary research, because for the most part, you will not be conducting your own research. You can if you want to. For example, you could go out and conduct an interview with someone who's an expert on your topic, or conduct a survey of a class or the larger campus to see what people think about your topic. But for the most part, you are going to be looking at information that has been gathered by other people, and you are going to be reporting about that information. Secondary research. A lot of the stuff that you'll be looking at is primary research, especially if you're using more academic sources that are original case studies. If we're looking more at newspaper articles and stuff that's talking about studies, then that's secondary research. And your book goes into a lot more detail about how you can conduct a survey and how you could conduct an interview if you so wish. But really today, most of what we're going to be talking about is secondary research, because you are going to be citing the sources that you are reading. You didn't actually do the research yourself. You didn't come up with the data by yourself.